Boop.
All right.
Pretty much chugged that whole coffee, and we're live.
And we're live. Coffee's down. Good to go. All right. Welcome to the Ladder Up Podcast. We're here with Timmy.
Yeah, Tim Champaign.
Tim Champaign, bodybuilder, gym goer, former military guy. You want to kind of start with your backstory, who you are, where you're from?
So, I grew up here in Michigan, and then moved to Wisconsin for a couple years, and then moved back to Michigan. While I was... Do you want me to go more in depth right now?
Yeah, go all in, man.
Okay. So, growing up, my mom was sober, but she was very sheltered. Married my dad. My dad was a raging coke addict, alcoholic. He got sober off of coke, but then was still drinking on top of it. They divorced when I was 12. I had 3 of my grandparents die in 3 months when I was like 11 years old, so that kind of fucked me up too.
That's a lot in a short period.
Right. And then 12, like I said, my parents divorced. My dad was still an alcoholic. My mom was hopping around houses as I was living with her. And as that was happening, we went to live with my uncle. My uncle was a Green Beret for 23 years. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tim Kennedy, but my uncle was doing his job before he went in the military, right? So Tim Kennedy's position right now is what my uncle used to do. So he's like psychotic. He's crazy. Yeah, the dude's nuts. He's a sniper.
Real McCoy.
Right. I remember he had like trophies of first place for hand-to-hand combat and shooting and all this other shit. The dude was like 5'7", like 180 pounds, just like chiseled.
That's wild.
Dude would like drink a whole fifth, and then the next day he woke up and then would go on a marathon run. Just like an animal, dude. You're like, Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways, we lived with him for a little bit, and he was the only person to like show me how to be a man, how to, get shit done. I was only living with him for like maybe, 4 or 5 months, and that was it.
Okay, so that's wild. In a short period, he had such a big impact on you.
Right. And after that, my mom met this dude. He's handicapped. He's in an electric chair, and she remarried him. They're still together today. My dad, well, backtrack a bit. So, my stepdad lives in the middle of fucking nowhere in the woods. Like, he lives on a dirt road. His driveway is a 1/4 mile long.
Yeah.
And he lives in the fucking woods. Like, his neighbors are way away.
Sounds super peaceful.
Well, now, but like, growing up living in, I don't know, like a small town like here to moving there was a big change, and I don't really like it, so I moved back in with my dad, because my dad didn't give a shit what I did, right? Like, when you're a teenager, you're just like, I just want freedom. I don't care about anything else. Just let me do what I want to do. I gotta figure it out.
Right.
Excuse me.
Gotta do it all well, you know it all.
Right. So after that, I was living with my dad, and he was still drinking, like, all the time. And after that, he met my stepmom, who is, like, crazy. She is manic bipolar.
Also, like, legitimately.
Like, yeah, she's, like, or manic depressed, which is bipolar. But she had, like, some other symptoms, too, that she never, like, told me. She's just fucking crazy, dude. She's crazy, like, legit. Very manipulative, but they met when I was 12, and then they started dating and everything as I was living with them. And then my dad eventually started going to harder and harder drugs. Like, he went back on coke, and then after a few years after that, he went and started doing meth and heroin and all this other shit. And even though my stepmom was like hiding it because she was way more functional than my dad, she didn't drink, but she did everything else. She could hide it.
Functional.
Right. on top of that, my dad was eating, like, no exaggeration, he was eating 20 of the 1,000 milligram Vicodins a day.
Damn.
To function, right? So you add all this together, I mean, like, it was a roller coaster, you know? Like, his ups were way up, but his downs were just as far down, you know? And when you're growing up as a kid, you're very perceptive of things. And you kind of like, you have a lot more empathy. So you feel it more. It's not, so compassion is understanding how they feel. Empathy is you're on the ride with them. So as you're younger and you have that empathy, I was on the roller coaster with them.
Did you know what was going on when you were younger, or was that just like you just seeing your parents just being at like the up and down and not really understanding what was going on, or like?
I knew to an extent, yeah, like with the drinking and everything. Yeah, like my mom, she would be sleeping some nights, and my dad would wake her up at like 2 in the morning and just like, you fucking cunt, wake up, da 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 da, screaming, dude, woke me up. I was like fucking 8 or 9 years old. I remember just being mad as fuck, like, why is it like this? You know, and I realized even then it was because my dad was drinking, you know.
You're like, Timmy down the street from school don't gotta deal with that.
Right. And then trying to go to school and everything on top of that, like, you're not gonna function in school. You just like, you think it's normal, but you go to school and like everyone's all happy and shit, and you're just mad at the world, you know? Like, you have a lot of animosity for no reason and a lot of negative energy, you know, and you're just trying to figure it out, but you don't know what's going on because you're still a kid, you know? So after that, you know, obviously my uncle had a big inspiration. Everyone talked about how great he was and everything, and I thought the same thing, you know? So that's what gave me the idea, like, I need to get out of there. I didn't know what to do, so I was going to, well, I did enlist, and I enlisted at 18.
Were you out of high school, or did you do like the DEP program?
It was after high school, and what happened was my dad brought his nephew up here from Texas, and he was homeless, but he was also a meth addict.
Oh.
Yeah, I obviously didn't know this. No one relayed it to me.
You're like, you just don't like to sleep, huh?
yeah. Well, he was cool. He was sober for a little bit. Like, he was sober for a while, probably, 4 or 5 months out of the 8 months, 9 months he lived with us. And he just led me down the wrong path, and we went into Walmart, and we went and stole some shit, and we got caught.
Damn. How'd you get caught going to that?
Yeah, he walked in with a backpack. I was 18 and dumb as fuck, and I followed him around, and he started stuffing a pair of shoes in his backpack, and I threw him a pair. I said, well, throw these in there while you're at it, you know? And then after that, they fucking scooped us up, and they said, hey, come with me. So I ended up being on probation for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. But, it's not like they had to drug test me or anything. So everything got kind of put on the back burner because I couldn't join the Army because I was on probation.
Right. Gotta wait for papers clear.
Right. So after, once I hit 20, then I joined, and I became an infantryman, and I was active duty. And then they stationed me out in Alaska, and I froze my fucking nuts off. It was cold, dude. The coldest night was -60.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was. I had on about 7 layers. You got the big old fucking Mickey Mouse boots looking like Ronald McDonald out there. And then you're playing infantry too, so you're having to run, and everyone's running like a fucking retard, So, yeah. I remember it was so cold. We would dismount from a deuce. I think it's a 6.5 ton, whatever, or 5.5 ton. And when we did that, we would dismount, and like hitting the ground with your feet cold hurt so fucking bad, dude.
I wouldn't thought of that part.
Oh yeah, dude. Like it's insane. And then when you're in the back of it, it's all steel. Like there's no matting or anything. So I'm sitting there like trying to wiggle my fucking toes to get the feeling in them. You know what I mean? Like
in the Mickey Mouse boots too, huh?
right, yeah, even in there. So like this, you're sitting either on the steel or on a bench. It don't matter. Like it's all steel, and it's like literally sucking the soul out of you. Whatever's touching is like just cold
Fucking
as
frozen
fuck.
to the seat, huh?
Yeah. So you dismount. It hurts like a bitch. And then you go lay on some fucking snow, and then you start shooting. Well, some people either put too much lube on their gun or too little. And what happened was they would shoot, and it would cause condensation in the bolt because of the heat. And then it would snap freeze. And that would happen before it even ejected the
What does snap freeze mean?
It just, it freezes instantaneously.
Oh,
you know
shit.
what I mean? Yeah, and it did it so fast that it froze it before it even ejected the empty brass of the first round.
Damn, so did it like automatically stovepipe?
Yeah, and it was like only open like, you know, an inch, and that's it before it even ejected the 5.56 round, you know, the brass. We're like, oh shit. That happened to like, we had like, I don't know, probably 30 people out there. It probably happened to like, I don't know, 5. And we were like, oh fuck. And the only way to do it is like, you know, you gotta unload your magazine that has all the rounds in it, and then you gotta bring your fucking weapon inside of a building and then let it thaw. And then all of a sudden you hear a ting! And you know that bitch fucking finally released, you know?
Damn. That's loud.
Yeah, so you fucking, then after that you gotta pull the bolt back and then let the bullet drop off. But yeah, it was insane. It was cold, man. While I was in towards the end is when I met this guy who was really into working out. I still talk to him today. He lives in North Carolina, which is where I live now, so we linked up and everything. And
That's cool.
Yeah, we're cool. He taught me, you know, going to the gym and everything and being dedicated and all this and that. It was like, you know, how I got brought into it. Everyone starts somewhere. Like, we all look like idiots when we first go in.
How much did you weigh when you first started going to the gym?
Probably like 155, 160. No, I'm like 215.
Damn.
Yeah, I gained a lot of weight. Obviously, like, when I started, it was 2018, so that was 6 years ago. Almost 7 now, because it was in May, and we're in the end of December. So I got 4 more months, and then I hit 7 years.
Wow.
He started bringing me in the gym and everything, and dude, I remember like I couldn't even lift up really like 135, like one plate, 145 on each side. I couldn't even really lift that, dude. And now like I'm throwing up 315, 3 plates on each side. You know, it's insane. It just became an addiction and a way of life. I was drinking really heavy because my dad never taught me that regulation, and neither no one did. My uncle, no one, like, and it's the same on both sides of my family, from my mom and my dad. They're all alcoholics or just an addict of some form, you know. Mm-hmm. There's no regulation. It's just you're going, dude, that pedal's to the floor and you're going. Like, every time I was drinking, it was just get blackout drunk, and then after that, it was like, okay, I can go to bed now, even though I don't remember anything. And then you wake up and you're like, wow, what stupid shit did I do? You know, you start.
You're like, where's my keys?
Yeah. I remember there was one time I got home, and I don't know how the fuck I got home.
Yeah.
I know that's yeah. I know that's pretty regular with alcoholics and everything, but that never happened to me before. So, and it was the only time that happened because it freaked me out. I'm thinking, dude, watch my car be fucked up, dude. And I walk outside, and my car is parked perfect, and I'm like looking all around my car, and it's fine. I'm like, okay. I was like, I hope it drives good too. You know, I'm all paranoid and shit. But then, you know how like you start remembering shit that you did. I remember it took me like 3 times to park it perfect, but I parked it perfect just out of spite of like, I'm fucked up, but I made it home, you know? Like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and not know what happened, but it's parked perfectly.
Goddamn wizard got me home.
Yeah. Because you are 2 different people when you drink. You are. They're 2 completely different people. So I was getting fucked up in the army, and I was drinking really heavy. And then, I started working out and everything, and I started dying down. That's when I quit using nicotine too. I was vaping or dipping or smoking cigarettes. And I just stopped and I started going on a diet. We looked up a famous international federal bodybuilder. His name is Callum Von Moger. And we looked up his diet plan and everything. And then I wouldn't recommend doing it now. Like, he's cool now, but he went through some things. I'm not going to go into that. But we followed his diet and everything. We got big, like, fast. I went from like 160 to like 195 off of his bulking program.
Yep.
But obviously, like, you got to be on steroids in order for it to like fully work.
Right.
So I just got kind of fluffy.
Gave you some mass to work with.
Yeah, exactly. So
at what point did it kind of go from like a hobby or like just something you do with your buddy to like a lifestyle?
I would say immediately it became a lifestyle because I was eating, I was getting my sleep, I was drinking my water, like just immediately. I would say when I started getting addicted to it and really enjoying it was probably about a few months in, 6 months in. That's when I started like noticing that I'm getting stronger, I'm noticing more muscle tone. And then after, as time goes on, you get more and more addicted, And I quit drinking and everything. I still don't use nicotine. Like, I'm not saying that, it's the best way to go about shit, but it's the healthier route instead of drinking all the time or using something else, Yeah. It's either that or you can go into mixed martial arts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever experimented with like jujitsu or anything?
I have a year, yeah. And then while I was in North Carolina, I was doing my brother-in-law has done MMA for like 20 years, like on and off, so he knows. He was a Golden Glove boxer too.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, he's cool, and he taught me a couple things of how to hit the bag proper and all that. So I did Muay Thai for about a year or two, but not under a gym. It was just like he taught me some things, and I started refining it, and then he would keep showing me things along the way, and I'd refine those. So, but I think after I'm done working out or whatever, I think MMA will probably be the way I go, or I might continue. I might do both. I don't know. You know what I mean? It just opens up the door.
Right. Is there like a certain? Do you want to do like MMA or like jiu-jitsu, or like do you have like your eyes set on anything specific like that?
I'd like both, to be honest. Yeah. So when I was doing jiu-jitsu, it was like I was doing leaps and bounds compared to the people around me. I was able to I was like a sponge. I just knew, once they showed me, I just knew how to do it. And it stuck. With the striking, I don't have fast twitch muscles. So my striking isn't as refined. The gym teaches you, or at least like, now I do more powerlifting stuff, right? I've been working out for almost 7 years. I would say 3 to 4 years of it was more bodybuilding.
So what's the difference?
The bodybuilding is more for aesthetics. You're just trying to get as big as you can and as much muscle as you can. The weight doesn't matter. The powerlifting is like your 3 compounds, so your squat, your deadlift, and your bench. And the goal is just to rip as much weight as you can, with good form and, technique. So I did the bodybuilding for, 3-4 years, and then the rest of the time I've been doing the powerlifting. Forgot where so the bodybuilding, what it taught me is that my legs are genetically just massive, right? They're just huge for just No reason. It's just genetics. What I need to do is work on my weak points more. So yeah, I can go in there and work out legs and I look cool because my legs are huge and everyone looks at me, right? Like you get the attention that you want, but what you're not doing is you're not working hard on what you need to work hard on and refine what the weak points are. So wherever you're weak at is where you want to refine.
I mean, that's good genetics. At least you don't look like a Dorito. Like the people that just do upper body all day and have like little chicken legs.
But that's what, like in bodybuilding, that's what they're looking for. That's what sucks. Yeah, it's like, I'm not saying like chicken legs, but like that Dorito, that's what they're looking for. Yeah, that's what they want. But they also want the big legs like mine. You know what I mean? Just with no waist. I got a wide waist. So it's harder for me to get the Dorito because they got wide hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they want someone with really small hips and, tapers up like a tree. Ronnie Coleman, he had 32 or 34 inch waist. And he was 300 some odd pounds of just muscle.
That's fucking wild.
So, like, to imagine, like, it wasn't like a tree, like a V. This dude was like a U. You know what I mean?
Like, yoked up.
Yeah, it's just massive, dude. He just had the greatest genetics out of everyone. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So who's some of like the bodybuilders you look up to over the years?
I would say like influencers or people that just work out in general that I look up to.
Do both, like top 5. Like combined.
I would say not in this particular order, right? Mm-hmm. But I would say, one person that really got me to where I want to be when it comes to the gym is Larry Wheels, or his actual last name is Williams. He's a power lifter, or he was, but I mean the dude with his size, he shouldn't be ripping the weight that he does. The dude's 260, but he's ripping up 900 and like he did 930 pounds three times on deadlift. Most people that do that are 300 pounds and they can do that, right? He's 40 pounds lighter, which is, dude, that's a lot. 40 pounds and he's ripping the same weight. He's just gifted in strength. Obviously, he was doing some other curricular activities that were helping him, But at the same time, like, the dude is just gifted with strength. Like, he had it even before the steroids, and you add the steroids with it, like, yeah, dude, that dude's strong as fuck.
Dude, sometimes I thought, like, if they had a bodybuilding competition, like a strongman competition, where you could use steroids or anything, like, how far could the human body go with, like, everything enhanced? Like, it's fucking wild.
They do all that shit, too. Like, all of them use steroids, all of them. They're using something, like the strongmen, the bodybuilders, and obviously the powerlifters, too. Even arm wrestlers, have you ever watched them? They're taking, like, more dope than you could even imagine, dude. Like, arm wrestlers are taking a lot of dope.
I wouldn't have expected that one.
Yeah. Everyone that does anything competitive like that, they're all taking steroids. Even in UFC.
Yeah,
they're taking shit too.
I heard it's kind of like, hey, we're testing Wednesday.
Like,
let you know.
Like cycle off, right? Like 2 weeks before. Another one, obviously, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman was a bodybuilder and
OG.
Yeah, exactly. He had the most Olympia titles. I mean, he's a household name, and he was one of, if not the strongest bodybuilder to live. Like, he would be on his cut right before the show. And what happens is they dry out. They quit drinking as much water and everything. They quit eating carbs, and you know what I mean? He was like, I would say he was weaker than what he usually was, but the dude, 2 weeks before the Olympia, before the big show, he would deadlift 800 pounds. That's unheard of.
Yeah, that leaves like a little recovery time.
That's unheard of. And people like are usually like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to get hurt. Like you're lacking some nutrition. You're lacking like some water. You know, like you're just not in the prime condition to be lifting it. And Ronnie's like, ain't nothing but a peanut. Just rips up 800. You're like, Jesus Christ, dude.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who Tom Platz is.
I do not.
You know, Tom Platz had legendary legs. What I'll do is I'll pull it up, and your viewers or whatever, Google Tom Platz legs, and it will give you like the photo of this dude's quads. They literally called him the Quad Father. And like I have
the Quad Father?
Yeah, like I have like damn near the same genetics as that dude. Yeah, dude.
You do though.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, those look like giant turkeys on his quads pretty much.
The guy's on a different level. And what it was is oh, here you go. One more. I'll show you one more. Like, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah, bro.
That's fucking wild, dude.
The Quad Father. That's what they call him.
He'd almost be like waddling around.
Oh, he probably did too. Yeah, he probably did. All the girls were like, hey. So
dude, his quads like someone's biceps.
It's insane, dude. It's insane. So his work ethic is, if you look up his workouts, like it's insane. He would go, when you worked out with me, right? And I brought you to failure when we were doing flat bench, right? Mm-hmm. Like I helped you with the last two, right? Mm-hmm. Now imagine doing that for the last like 5, right? And that's what he did every single time. And he would go in there and work out for, honestly, probably like 2 hours sometimes.
Damn.
Doing that for 2 hours.
The body will adapt.
Yeah, but he obviously
dude, by the end he's probably like lifting his fucking arm off.
Oh yeah. And he did that mostly with his legs. Like he would just probably once a month he would do that to his legs and just destroy him. So you can only imagine like he's climbing out of like machines, like lifting up these hams that he's got for legs, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, you switch into to manual mode for going up steps where you fucking using your hands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane, dude. Trying to think of some other people, man. Mike, I forget his name. It's Mike something. He is he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Oh, I don't know how to say that. Mike is Ray Tell or something like that.
Difficult name.
Yeah. Like he's not huge or anything. I mean, he is huge, but he doesn't have that good of genetics. But he went to school and got taught all the science. He does steroids too, but he has like, he's basically what I would want to do. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He goes and does bodybuilding and he does steroids. You know what I mean? And
that would be a scary fucking opponent, dude.
Right. And the guy's like a monster. He's probably like, I don't know, probably my height. Honestly, he's probably like 5'7". He's probably about the same size, but he's just chiseled. Mm-hmm. But he's a black belt. Like, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, he's going to fold your clothes while you're in them.
Yeah. Pretty much. You know what I mean? Pretty much. If you grab him, like, you're dead. It doesn't matter. Like, you're dead.
It was this moment he realized he fucked up.
Yeah. I can't think of a fifth, to be honest with you. Yeah, to be honest with you. I will say, there's one dude I used to watch him. They called him Big Boy. He's located out in South Carolina. He's got what do they call it? Strength Cartel. The dude's Mexican, right? But he's got this brand called Strength Cartel.
That's cool.
And he's a power lifter. You know, he'd go and rip some weight. The way that his body is, his torso is really long. Mm-hmm. and his lats are huge, and he's got these little legs, right? Now, little legs, Eddie Hall too. Eddie Hall's like that.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, it's the same. They're built the same. Like they got little legs, but their torsos are huge. So when they go to pick up weight on the ground for a deadlift, they just rip it, and it's nothing for them. Like, and they got these orangutan arms, so they're like, by the time they're down on the ground, like they're barely bent over, dude, and they just like stand up for 6 inches, and they're ripping up like 900 pounds. You know,
Like, be a man, use your back.
yeah. Eddie Hall, he's picked up 500 kilograms.
That's pretty crazy.
Like officially, yeah, officially. They got Thor Bjornsson too. He picked up 501, but it was unofficial, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just insane. So imagine a strong man, right? How much you weigh?
180.
180. So you and I combined is 400 pounds, right? So imagine like Brian Shaw is 6'8" and like 400 pounds. That's like you and I combined.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Like he's two people
Shit
in
brick
one
house.
Like literally, bro, literally. You've ever seen the video of him going up and shaking all the bodybuilders' hands?
No.
No. When you get a chance, like go on YouTube and look up Brian Shaw, Mr. Olympia, and he goes up and he's got this big ass tailored suit that he got, and he goes up there like literally a fucking gorilla, dude. You just say he looks like SpongeBob walking up there, but he's 6'8". I mean, it's literally a giant square. And he goes up to these bodybuilders, and you know, they're fucking huge. They're like 6 foot, right? And he's going up and shaking their hand, and they look like fucking children, dude. They look like children. And they're all looking up like, oh, thank you for the medal. Like, you know, really appreciate it. Thanks, man. Way to make me look like a bitch.
He fucking lifts them up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Literally, though. Literally. It's terrifying. It is terrifying. What people don't understand, too, is you might be big and you might be strong. And I haven't done a lot of martial arts, but I know enough that, like, I'm 215 pounds, right? A UFC fighter, a guy that is, like, 120 pounds could demolish me.
Right, especially with the amount of time and effort they've got to critiquing their craft. And if that's their sole job, that's pretty fucking dialed in.
They've been doing it for 20 years.
Right.
And people think they can just because they're big, you know, they're strong, then go in there and just fuck them up. It's like, okay, so you've been working out for, you know, let's say a decade, so 10 years, right? Imagine a dude, just because he's bigger than you, right? He's going to go in there without working out or anything. He's going to rip more weight than you automatically. Mm-hmm. It's like, for me, I'm 215, but I can bench. The most I benched was 325, which is pretty good.
It's fucking up there.
It's okay, you know, for my body weight. I'd like to have double my body weight, or at least 405.
True, like lightweight.
Right. So, having someone go in there that's probably 300 pounds, they can probably bench their body weight, you know, like, so they can probably bench 300 or 315 right with me, but I'm 100 pounds lighter than them, and I'm doing the same weight because I'm strong, but I've only been doing it for 7 years.
You say only like it's a light feat. That's, you know, a lot of dedication in that.
Right. And to imagine a UFC fighter that's been doing that for 20 years, and you're telling me just because you're big and you're strong that you're going to fuck this dude up. The way that I've been explained it, I've never fought like a skinny dude, but the way I've been explained is like, when you're fighting someone smaller that's fast, it's like fighting someone with 6 hands. Because, dude, they just like...
Spider monkey.
Bah, 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 bah. Like, they just light you up.
Yeah.
You can't fuck with them. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are or what you've done. Like, if you haven't put 20 years in and you're not at that level, the UFC is the best brand of fighters. They have other brands and stuff of these fighters and everything, and they always come into the UFC, but none of them have made it in the top 5, except one guy. That was it. The rest of them, dude, they just fall short. All of them fall short. They can't go, like, The UFC just has the best brand and the best fighters.
Well, it's like when jiu-jitsu first came into like the UFC or like mixed martial arts. The Gracie, forgot his last name, but the guy that brought like jiu-jitsu to the U.S. when he like went against all the different martial arts styles and stuff, he was just tearing them up. And they were like people like fucking massive compared to him and shit.
What's crazy too is that was a Hoist Gracie, right?
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Now he was the second best fighter. He wasn't even the best out of the Gracies.
Didn't he say it was his brother or something? That was
Yeah, yeah. His brother was the best one, but they put in, him who was the second, and he still won it all. If you actually go back too, there's a fucking clip of him just like smashing this dude in the nuts. I don't know if you've seen that one. No, there was no rules back then,
it's
dude.
like ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah, dude, like I think he was getting fucked up and he didn't know what to do. So he got him in a certain position, dude, and he started wailing on his nuts. And the dude just tapped. He's like, okay, you win. It's like, god damn, bro. But yeah, to imagine, like, he wasn't even the best of the best, and he still won it all. Like, but what people don't realize too is like, everyone thinks that like, oh, if they went in there today, they would win. They actually have a dude with the last name Gracie who is a part of the Gracie family, and he goes in there and he only does jiu-jitsu, and he loses back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
The sport has evolved so much.
Yeah, and think about with like cell phones and shit nowadays, you can study from like a very young age on videos, techniques, and all that for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Or back then they didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
Just what you learn.
It's like having a flip phone and saying that this flip phone can compete with a smartphone. Because, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, it's incomprehensible. Like, the sport has evolved so much, and the techniques have surpassed anything that was from back then. Right. Like, you could do whatever you wanted to from back then, and it wouldn't even, these dudes would laugh at them. Because it's nothing nowadays. Like, it's evolved so much. And they're constantly coming up with new things, too. It's just being revamped and revamped and revamped. And it's interesting, Right now, I'm trying to... So... Right now, I do some extracurricular activities. That's why I got pimples and all that. You know what I mean? Like, I get bloody noses because I got high blood pressure. But eventually, I want to get off of that, and I want to go into mixed martial arts too.
Mm-hmm. You want to compete?
I think I'm too old for that now. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say no, but to like go all the way, to like be in the UFC.
And what if you just kept fucking winning, win after win after win?
I mean, I'd see where it goes.
Yeah.
I really don't think, like, those dudes have been doing it for 20 years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've only did it for 1 year,
Right.
Like, realistically, I would have to be like a 0.0001% like gifted person, but realistically in my head, I'm not doubting myself because that could, but realistically it's probably not.
Right, I hear you.
Sure. Yeah, you can't void out every possibility, but then again, it's kind of like, it's really improbable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I might do some small stuff, some small stuff. There's this dude around here, his name is Andre, I want to say Thomas or something like that. He's a black dude, but he's tall. He's chubby, a little chubbier. You'll never expect it, right? This dude can head kick. He's chubby, dude. But this dude can kick his height.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, dude. I've always told people, if you can learn anything, learn how to head kick.
Yeah, because you wouldn't see that coming. You were watching their hands and shit, and all of a sudden, bam, fucking foot to the head.
Right. It's like the first thing I was taught by someone that's done a lot of mixed martial arts is like, send a jab, just kind of stun them, and then their guard's up, so they're looking at your hands. You take a step back, and then just go for a head kick. And they're not going to see it because they think they're safe. Mm-hmm. You pepper them, and they're like kind of stunned. They're like, okay, we're fighting, da-da-da-da. And if you can take a step back immediately after that and then line it up with a head kick, they're out. I don't care.
I feel like that would take some practice beforehand, because like if you don't got the stretching ability,
Oh my god.
imagine trying to go for a head kick and you're like not even belly button level.
Yeah.
Just get caught right in the foot.
But you can still, they call it teep.
Yeah.
It's a front kick, but what you're doing is you're trying to, like, the way that they do it, it takes practice. Is you're trying to get the foot, your toes under their ribs. So they come up like this, right? And what they do is they get under your ribs and then they get you in the solar plexus. Mm-hmm. So that's a good one to learn too.
It's almost like a football block, but with your foot.
With your foot, essentially, yeah. But if you can learn that, I mean, no one will see that either. I mean, you can do the same thing if you're not flexible, you know. You blast them in the face with a jab real quick. And the jab is just quick. You're pretty much just like that. You ain't got to blast them. Yeah, you ain't got to blast them. It's just enough just to kind of be like, you know, what the fuck, you know? Yeah. And then you step back and then you just front kick. And if you can get them right there, like, they're going to drop no matter what.
Right.
You know, not a lot of people have been punched in the mouth anymore. So, like, I mean, even just a quick dab with a jab is like, you'll probably fuck their lip up, you know?
Right.
Let alone like a heavy right. Like, no, you know.
I know someone that just got their clock cleaned and they got like a bunch of hardware in their jaw from it. So they got them when they were talking, when their mouth was open.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to say no name.
Yeah.
Name starts with a P.
It does.
It does. Yeah. He's a good dude, but yeah, he does talk some shit. I noticed on, he's got Snapchat, and he'd be on there like, I'm not making fun of the dude, but he's not big, you know? Like, he got a little bit of muscle. Like, he doesn't work out, though, you know? Like, he's on there flexing and shit, and you're just like, okay, you know, like, I'm not bashing the dude, you know? But, like, yeah, he was getting a little confident. Yeah, he's gonna.
Great old equalizer.
Yeah. Some people like that, like, you gotta be punched in the mouth sometimes, you know? Like,
yep.
Chill out, you know? Like, chill out. I can pick up, so, just 4 days ago, I deadlifted 455 off the ground. That was a PR. Actually, she got it out. I had blood all over this shirt. You can see, like, some of the stain on it.
Were you just going so hard you got a fucking nosebleed from it?
Yeah.
Wild, dude.
Well, I'm doing some other curricular activities that
you causes... You that from time to time?
Yeah. I mean, but I finished the lift.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got it up and it just, like...
You can imagine some poor soccer mom in the gym and she just looks over and sees you all yoked up.
Yeah, bro. I was like, rah, face as red as a tomato, and I'm like, rah.
Dude, your head gets as red as Mr. Krabs.
Oh, dude, it's bad, bro. It's bad. But that's all the blood pressure and everything. Mm-hmm. So, I ripped that up. But I also, I grabbed 100-pound dumbbells, and then I shoulder pressed them 8 times. And I got them up 8 times. So, like, I mean, that's 100 each hand, you know, like, strength-wise, I feel confident. Like, I can lift up, like, a 180-pound person over my head and throw them.
Yeah.
Like, I feel confident about that, you know, like, but obviously fighting's a lot different. Like, do you think someone's going to hold still while you pick them up over your head and throw them?
I mean, in Chicago, I see this video online where they had a crackhead throwing competition.
I think I see that.
Throw them?
Yeah, I think I see that.
And then measure it.
They were all like, they were big-ass black people throwing them, weren't they? Yeah, dude, that shit was so funny. I was laughing so hard at that. I was like, bro, they're doing it right in Chicago.
Right, I'm like, oddly enough, that is a thing. That's a sport.
Right, if Chicago wasn't so bad, I'd go and watch. But I'm like, I kind of white dude in a neighborhood like that, I was like, I don't want to.
Until you get the high score.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, I noticed too, when you go in the ghetto, and like, if you've been lifting and everything, they're like, obviously, they stay away from you. Like, there is an intimidation factor. Just being bigger, you know, and having more muscle, because people are naturally like a little more respectable.
So like, this guy's a threat.
Right, more respectable about your size, but like realistically, in the back of my head, I know like yes, it does help, but I mean, you know, if you're too big, you're not functional. But if you're just right, it can help a little bit, so to say. But if you've been training for 3 years in some sort of mixed martial art, like, you're most likely going to fuck up even like a bigger dude like me, you know.
Right. I think some of it is like it's respect because people can see your discipline when you walk in the room. Like you have big muscles in the gym. You can tell you're in the gym every single day. You work out every single day. So that's like discipline that people can tell when you walk in the room.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Not only that, like a lot of people don't do any martial arts or anything, so they just see a big dude and they're like, I'm probably not gonna fuck with him because he already has an edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then again, like there is the obsolete, right? There's just people that you can't fuck with. So you got people like Brian Shaw. He's 6'8" and 400 pounds. He's the same size as Hafthor Bjornsson. Okay? And Hafthor was sparring or messing around with Conor McGregor. You've heard that name before,
yes.
right? Conor was kicking him in the stomach, punching him in the stomach, and moving fast so then he couldn't grab him. But it didn't even do anything to him. Like,
he's just building up his core.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a workout thing where people punch you in the stomach to build up your core and tighten it up?
Yeah, but they were like fucking around. Like Hafthor was trying to get him, you know, but you could kind of tell he's like, if I get him, I don't really know what to do. But he's so big that like Conor was hitting him, and it wasn't doing anything, nothing. I mean, I'm sure if he landed like some nasty ass leg kicks, like it'd fuck you up. If you get a chance, look up some leg kicks, dude.
Yeah, dude, you definitely got me interested in that.
Leg kicks. Eddie Hall has a video. He went and trained with the interim heavyweight champion of the UFC. His name is Tom Aspinall. He went to his gym, and he's like, he wanted to be leg kicked, Eddie Hall, right? And he's like, are you going to do it? Tom Aspinall kind of giggled. Tom Aspinall's like 240, his competitive weight, so realistically he's like probably 260 or so. And he's like, got this English accent. He's like, no. He's like, I'm going to have this 9-year-old kick you. He's like, a 9-year-old. So this 9-year-old comes up, and he's pretty tall too. Like, you can tell he's going to grow up to be an animal. Or no, like an 11-year-old, whatever, it doesn't matter. And he's like, if this kid kicks you right here perfectly, he's like, it's going to fuck your day up. No, Eddie Hall is 6'4", 6'5", but he's like 360 pounds.
It's like a David and Goliath story.
He's like a manimal, right? This kid walks up, he's like maybe my height and like 110 pounds. And he leg kicks Eddie Hall right perfectly in the quad, right where he's supposed to hit. And Eddie couldn't even walk on that leg.
Yeah.
Couldn't even walk on it, dude. He's like, you little motherfucker. He couldn't even walk on it, dude.
Dude.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
And it just puts in perspective. It doesn't matter how big you are. If you can use the right technique, like, you can fuck up anyone's day. Yep. Especially with leg kicks. Leg kicks are nasty, dude.
Yeah, I seen this one UFC fight where, I don't know who it was, but this guy, like, just trained a flying knee kick, where, like, he jumps up and fucking knees the guy in the face. So, like, within the first 30 seconds of the round, he does just one knee and fucking knocks the guy out cold right there. Where he, like, just practiced the knee kick. That's it. That was his one move. Like, over and over again for, like, months.
Yeah.
And then when the fight comes, within 30 seconds, he wins.
It's nasty, ain't it?
Yeah.
What's crazy, too, is, so, I've tried betting on this shit. I'm like, UFC, like, I bet you this guy will win, right? Dude, I bet you I'd bet, like, probably 8 times.
You have any luck?
I haven't even got one, dude. I haven't even got one. I started fucking up, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw $10. $10, bro. It's like, after 8, you know, and like, before that I was throwing like a little bit, you know, I probably lost 200 at the end of the day, and then I just quit fucking betting, because I'm like, you don't know what's gonna happen, dude.
Dude, I'll just do like 20 on each.
Yeah, but you have no idea, you know what I mean? You have no idea. And some of the people obviously are favorites or whatever, so you bet 20 on this person, but you only get $6 back.
Right.
So you're only getting $26. Or I can bet on this person, I'm gonna get 40, you know, or $56.
And then the one time you don't is when the underdog wins.
Right, yeah, exactly.
For real.
Really, you motherfucker, dude. So, yeah. It's been interesting to say the least.
Do you feel like going to the gym was like build your confidence and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, to an extent, but I know where I'm at. You know, like I feel like fighting is what's really, or learning a martial art is really what's gonna build up your confidence, no matter who you are.
I only asked that because like how you moved across the country and stuff, like you got to be pretty fucking confident to do that. Because like a lot of people talk about it, but no one, you don't see many people doing it. You know.
Right. I don't really have any holdbacks, or at least then I didn't. I didn't have any pets. I didn't have a girl. I don't have any kids. You know, then I was 26, 27, something like that. And man, I just moved out. I went from Michigan to North Carolina, and I didn't have no holdbacks. I didn't have anything tying me here, you know, like I could lift up a move even today. And all I have is a bearded dragon now.
Right.
You know, like light. I just travel light, and it's the best thing ever because I don't gotta move a bunch of shit. You know,
Right.
I like it. You know, and that's also what the army taught me: is pack light, you're fucking good. Mind you, now that I'm eating 5,000 calories a day, I have a whole fucking cooler everywhere I go while I'm visiting in Michigan. And then I gotta unload all my clothes and all this other shit. I'm doing like 5 loads in and out. And I'm like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But it just makes you realize, like, if you can travel light, like, you ain't gotta do all that and you have nothing tying you down. You can just pack up and go, you know? Like, if you're not in any special diet, like, on the way, you can just grab Subway or whatever, McDonald's. It doesn't matter. You can just pick up and go.
Right.
You know, it's nice. But if you can't, if you got shit tying you back, I mean, you're just restricting yourself. I'm all about freedom, dude. Like, give me all the wiggle room. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I don't even want kids. I don't know if you want kids or not. I don't, though.
I'm with it for the freedom too. Like I just drove across California in like 9 hours one way across the whole state, just solo, with just my backpack. And I hear what you mean by traveling light. It was definitely a lot easier just to have one backpack, have all your shit in there. If you want to go check out the mountains, fine, pull over, check out the mountains. You know?
Yeah, it's legit. Like, you don't have anything holding back. You just got a car, you just zip, dude. Like,
Right.
fuck it. Who cares?
Just sleep next to the ocean every night, dude.
Yeah.
It was fucking fun.
Yeah, and that's like the same with, like, I understand people that ride Harleys and everything. Like, I get it now. It's like, just pack a tarp or a little fucking one-person tent. You know, pack up your fucking saddlebags and all that and just fucking go.
Right.
And I get it. Like, you're getting 50 miles a gallon, so money ain't a thing, you know? You just fucking go eat wherever, or you could start a little fire in the middle of nowhere and just have a pot or a pan with you and you just cook.
Yep.
Like, now I'm learning how to hunt, so I know how to gut, and then with my brother-in-law, I'm going to learn how to harvest too, like actually get the meat. I'm going to learn all that.
Different cuts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it can't be too hard. I mean, like, that looks like muscle, we'll just eat that, you know?
Right.
Like,
I've been learning over the last couple of years. This year I'm going to try to do it without a tractor. So like what we'll do is like we'll lift up the deer with a tractor, get it all secured, we'll change the stuff and clean it that way. But I want to learn just like cleaning it on the ground and like without all the extra equipment, you know?
yeah, it's beneficial to learn all that because a lot of people don't even know that. I read online that hunters have dropped by 30% over the last 10 years.
That's wild.
Yeah, just because no one hunts anymore. Everyone's just relying on grocery stores and all that.
That's why there's so many people hitting deers with their fucking cars, dude.
God, dude. My old car had 3 deer with it.
That thing's a trooper.
It's still rolling, dude. That bitch is still going, yeah.
Damn.
I got it at 130,000 miles. It's got 220. That bitch is still going. It's a '08. That bitch is still going. I got it inspected from front to back. And they looked over everything and were like, yeah, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, you had a little dent in the radiator. I'm like, that's from the deer. That bitch is fine, though. They said, like, it's all good. You just got to change a couple sensors, and, I mean, it's fine. So.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, moving up. I just got the Struck, too, and $400 payments for 3 years, which ain't shit. Like, most people do 5 or 6 years. I'm half of that. With even less money, you know?
Right.
Like, most people are doing $500-600 payments for 5-6 years. The truck is like, it's nice, you know? Like, it's a nicer truck. It's gonna last forever.
The number 2 payments for people like under 30 are like school payments or vehicle payments. And it's smart to not have like a fuck ton of vehicle payments for years at a high percent interest, like you see most people do.
Yeah, because then they're tied into that.
Right.
Yeah. And then you get this inflation and shit that's happening.
Right.
I mean, I guess it would help because if your payment is still $300, but now we're inflated, you're gonna make more money, which means you have to pay less.
Right.
In the long run, but
well, shit. You got anything you want to say to the viewers about if they want to get in the gym or anything, or you want anyone to reach out to you? Want to put your socials out there, any contact information? Or?
If you want to add me on Instagram, I'll even spell it out. I got some photos of the gym up there.
Fucking massive quads.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gifted with my quads. It's crazy. Like that's why Tom Platz was like an inspiration. Tim Champaign. Champaign is spelled Champaign. I'm in a gray hoodie with a bunch of trees and stuff behind me. So if you want to follow me or whatever, just hit me up. But yeah, if you want to get in the gym too, just go in, man. Like, just go in, make sure you do your compounds at first. That's it. Like, build the foundation. Like, do your compounds, and I'm not saying that as, like, a power lifter, and I'm not saying that as, like, a bodybuilder, but just, you're gonna, fuck the weight. The weight don't matter. Go in there, if you gotta put 10s on there, just do 10s, or even just the bar. It doesn't matter. But do your compounds. Do your squat. Deadlift is kind of a iffy, but at least do your squat and your bench, and then don't neglect your back either, like make sure you work that out. You don't necessarily have to do deadlifts, but if you do, just use lightweight, get the form down. That's the same with all of them. Just get your form down lightweight, and then eventually from there, the weight adds up, the weight does add up. Like 405 on deadlift I hit that this year, the beginning of this year, right? And I was only able to hit it for one. Now I got up 455. Like the weight will come, it just takes time.
Compound effect, a little bit over time.
Yeah.
Adds up.
And don't just fucking go in the gym and start doing steroids, because that's what all these fucking kids are doing. They're like, I'm gonna start the gym, I need some steroids. It's like, no the fuck you don't. You need to like do nothing and just go in there and learn your body.
They're like, cheat code activated.
Yeah, and it's not good, dude. It's not good. Learn how to lift first. Learn how to eat right and what goes with your body and doesn't. A lot of people, they just fucking eat everything, and it's like, if you eat the same thing every day, if you go on a diet, right, you can see how it reacts, and you start tweaking little things about the diet. Like this meal, you tweak this and that and this and that, and then eventually you get dialed in. Everybody's different. My diet might not work for you, and vice versa, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have to figure it out. There's no blueprint.
Different genetics.
Right. There's no blueprint, man. You just got to get in there and just start doing it.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. If you want confidence, I recommend, get into martial arts and don't be a fucking cockhead. Like, if you're going to learn how to fight, don't go fucking people up. Use it for good,
Someday a black belt will come across.
Yeah, someday you're going to fuck with someone that's going to fuck you up, and you're going to get humbled real quick. There is someone tougher out there than you. So, yeah, good luck to you all, and fucking get out there and get it, man. The world's out there for the taking.
The world is yours.
Even if you got kids and shit, you can do it.
Thanks for tuning in to Ladder Up Podcast.
Peace out, guys.
Like, comment, subscribe.